Hey, everybody. How's it going? Welcome to our first ever webinar, live webinar. Hopefully you figured out how to make it in here. This is a test, so if you're watching this in the replay, don't judge us on what's happening because it's only a test. We're going to get the bugs worked out. And then starting next week, we're going to be offering these as a regular occurrence. And Laura couldn't make it today due to a scheduling problem. She was here and she just had a client come in. So it's only going to be me. And today we're going to talk about growing your business with Facebook Live. But more importantly than that, I need you to kind of test things out for me. So I'm going to screen share the presentation, the webinar in a second. But because I'm on a single, like a laptop with a single monitor, I can't see what's going on the live page, but I am going to try to watch along on my cell phone. And the problem is on the mobile version, things are a little different. So you'll see that, oops, I have to pause that. So you'll see below that there is a chat box. And inside that chat box, you're welcome to ask questions. But because I'm on my own, I can't answer them as they come in. And that would be if I'm doing the webinar, Laura would be answering the questions in the chat box. If Laura's doing the webinar, then I'll be answering the questions in the chat box. But for now, once I'm done talking, I'm going to run through any questions that come up in the chat box. And hopefully you can see that right below where you're watching. If you're watching live on YouTube, things are a little bit differently. I would like to request that you head to the website where we're offering the webinar, and that would be at thesocialvert.com/webinars, plural, WEBINARS. That way you can see this live broadcast and the presentation, hopefully, and the chat box. So you can ask me questions, which is below where we're below the video screen. So I'm just going to make some adjustments here. If you can't hear me, please let me know. If you're having trouble seeing me, let me know. And like I said, I'm going to answer all of the issues. I'm going to address all the issues. But then also, if you're moving along and you're listening to the content and you have questions on the content, so on the Facebook Live procedure, ask away. And I am just going to shut some things down. And okay, so I'm going to get started with the screen share here. And we're going to run through the presentation. So today's presentation, I also can't see myself, so I really need to get another monitor. So today's presentation is on how to grow your business using Facebook Live. And let's jump in. So who are we? This is me. This is me. My name is Holly Mortimer. I am at the Stratford Perth Center for Business. Also the owner of the website platform that you're watching this webinar on, called The Social Vert. And I am a business advisor here at the center. And my co-host, who can't be with us today, but normally is co-hosting with me, is Laura McDougall, who is also a business advisor here at the Stratford Perth Center for Business. Let's dive in. So if you want to have it actually should back up. So before we even get into this slide, it's why do you want to do a Facebook Live program for your business page? Hands down, Facebook is throwing live content, video content, actually even more than video, live content ahead of all the other content that's put into business pages and Facebook into their algorithms. So what that means is chances are considerably higher should you be shooting a live video than just typing in some information or even putting in a graphic to get your information pushed through into the newsfeed of people who have similar interests or of people who have asked to see, asked to follow your page. So hands down, as long as your audience is into Facebook, and we're going to touch on that in a second, then it's a really great option to get started in. But there are so many things that people are afraid of when it comes to this, but hopefully we'll help alleviate some of those fears with this webinar. The webinar will appear on a replay, and we can also send out the link in our newsletter, and we'll post it on our Facebook page. So as far as equipment needs, really all you need is your smartphone. And usually start, I always say start with a fully charged battery, or have like a battery backup pack with you as well. And if you are doing it on your own and you want to have a different vantage viewpoint or a steady look, you're going to need a selfie stick. Pretty inexpensive, obviously optional. If you're sitting still and you're static, there are some really, actually I'm going to get into the hacks in a second that you can use to stabilize your smartphone that don't cost any money or tiny bits of money. So that was point number 2. So you need a device to hold your smartphone steady while if it is placed on a flat surface. But the thing that we used mainly is okay, Morgan, I see that I have somebody in here who's saying that Morgan can't get in. I'm just going to, if there's anybody else that can't get in, I'm going to read the website again before we dive too far in. And because this is just a test and I really appreciate you guys helping us out, stopping and starting at the odd time. So I'm just going to shoot off the web address to this client who is in. Okay. And then anyway, so back where I was. So GorillaPod, a GorillaPod, of which I don't have mine available, looks kind of like this. This is my microphone, but it's like a 3-legged, obviously a tripod, but it's bendable and it can go in all sorts of places. And you can get them on Amazon or at your local camera store, but it's completely optional. Next level, kind of, if you've got some money in the budget and you want to try something kind of HD, kind of fun and fancy, and you can zoom in, zoom out, edit. It's called a Mevo, and the Mevo looks like this. Here, we'll just get it out of its case. It's this little tiny camera. So because I can't see myself, I really hope that you can see that. The Mevo, though, is pretty expensive. It's about $600 US. It's kind of next level, right? And then obviously you need Facebook, and you'll need it on your mobile device, or you can do Facebook Live from your laptop, so you can in there. So the hacks I told you about, if you don't have a selfie stick, you don't have a Gorilla, you don't have a Mevo, you don't have a tripod, but you still need to keep your phone steady. It's a little business card holder, and I stick my cell phone in there, and actually I do lots of FaceTime calls like that as well. So that's a couple of bucks from the dollar store. Or you can just use stacks of books and lean your cell phone up against them. If anything that has height to hold the phone steady, and then something in the front. Or if you're really creative, you can get some alligator clips and clip them on to something and try to keep it steady that way. So before you get started in Facebook Live, my big thing is always to know that if your audience is there or not, or any point of business, you really should know who it is that you're talking to. So before I move forward, we're going to take a pause, and we're just going to make sure that I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to make sure that we can see everything. Break number 1. And whoever said, can you call it the Facebook? That's hilarious. And you won't be able to see me through this because only when I come back on like so. When I'm screen sharing, I disappear. Wait, hang on here. So, and the volume is low, so I'm just going to turn up the volume. Hopefully that helps. Okay, so check. Volume going out. Okay, so hopefully that helps. Let me know. I'm going to leave the chat room again and screen share. Okay. And then we'll keep moving on here. So understanding your audience. It's a best practice in business, no matter whether you're thinking about doing Facebook Live or you're just opening your business or any sort of marketing strategy. You really need to know who you are. But for Facebook Live specifically, are you talking to millennials who are like 22 to 34, generation older than that? Those are audiences that are interested in doing a Facebook Live or watching a Facebook Live, and anything younger than that. So if your target market is teens, tweens, they're not as interested in a marketing project that involves Facebook Live. You'd be better off doing an Instagram story, which is pretty similar but a little bit different as far as how it's set up. But other platforms will be better for you. So if your ideal customer is somewhere between, let's say, the ages of 22 and 65, Facebook Live is a great tool to access that audience. And really what you're trying to do ultimately is build a relationship. You're not trying to sell something. Obviously, ultimately, you're trying to sell something, but you're going to use social media for what it was originally intended for, is building a relationship. So a Facebook Live should always be kind of with that in mind, right? Okay, so let's see where we are here. Get to know your keywords. Sorry, we're still in the testing mode. I'm just trying to move forward. So then so far we haven't even started doing anything live yet, right? So what we really need you to do is create a marketing calendar. Sorry, I'm getting some messages directly on my phone here of questions, and I'm just trying to answer them. Okay, another website request. Okay, create a calendar. I'm a big fan of a 12-year calendar, but if you want to go that far, do a 3-month calendar, do a 6-month calendar, anything that you can get your hands on as far as calendar goes. 1 week, I don't know. Essential in order to stay organized. And what you can do is see your seasonality. You can see any holidays. If you're a retailer, like when is Christmas coming? How many months in advance do you need to start? Let me think about what it is I want to talk about, because I know what's coming and I want to sell this in October, or I want to promote this service. I'm a landscaper and I want to promote this service in the spring. Well, I'm going to start thinking about it in February or March. Just looking at your calendar and setting up your selling year is extremely beneficial to any business, whether you're doing a live or not. It just makes sense, right? So the more prepared you are, the more you know what you want to do, the easier it is to get that done. So set yourself up with a calendar, and really, I just print off a calendar in my iCal, but you can just go online and ask for a blank calendar, print it off, and use it. Mine is as rudimentary as that. Okay, so now you've made the decision that you're going to go live, and you know when you want to go live, and you know what kind of you want to talk about. How do you get people to watch you? And I will say, I will preface all of this, but don't be discouraged. If you go live and you have 1 person, 2 people, I mean, that is an average kind of viewing for us. I mean, it really doesn't matter. You can fix that in the replay. And sorry again. Okay, so yeah, where was I? So sorry, the technology here is driving me crazy. Okay, so thank goodness this is a test, and thank goodness you guys are all friends, and I'm so fortunate. Okay, so back to letting your audience know. So if you go live, you only have 1 or 2 people, don't sweat it. I'm going to talk about how to change that once you're done. But you do want to see if you can let as many people know that you're going to be live. And there are lots of kind of tips and tricks on how to do that. So you can send out a newsletter alert. If you have a newsletter, highly recommend getting one. If you don't have one, there's lots of free newsletter services out there, like MailChimp. Start to talk about it on your social media. Hey, I'm going live on Tuesday at 3 for this new series I'm creating, or join me. I recommend when you start out is choosing a date and a time, and you stick with it so that people know, oh, it's Tuesday at 3 live. I'm going to check it out. Or the more consistent you are, the more likely you are to catch some new viewers about that. So let anyone know the best way you can. Chat it up if you're in a retail situation or a service industry. Chat it up with your people. Like, hey, I'm trying lives. I would love it if you could join me for the first one and give me some great feedback, right? So, and then we're going to do some preparation. Obviously, you need to create an outline, and it doesn't have to be much more other than a piece of paper, some talking points that you want to go over, anything that you absolutely must mention, write it down, because trust me, when you start talking, you forget. And you're going to want to make sure that you don't forget what your intentions are with the live. And it also helps you stay on track, because with lives, what you want is a short, tight video. And by that, I mean, it needs to be top heavy, which we'll talk about in a second. But it doesn't need to be, and it doesn't need to be scripted, because scripted isn't real, right? So you're creating authentic communication, authentic content, and you need to about, but you want to talk about it as if you're in a conversation with your friends or your clients. You don't want it to feel rehearsed. So we're almost ready to go live. First things first, though, you need to ensure that you have good lighting. Today I have terrible lighting in here, and it's something that I need to move my webinar setup or get another light because I feel very washed out. That I found a couple times when I was doing Facebook Lives before, I was thinking about it, was that the sun was blinding me. The sun was in the wrong spot. So it was really hard to see myself. It was really hard to see who I was talking to. So you don't need to go and spend any money on professional lighting. Just make sure if you're static, so you're not moving around, that you're by a window, but your back is to it or your front is to it, whichever way works best for you, so that you're able to be seen. If you are sitting down at a desk like I am today, drag some lamps around. I've seen some people that are really, really great YouTubers that have a huge following, and all they have, if they did flip their camera around, was a pile of regular lamps, like household lamps, in a semicircle around them. So do what you got to do. It doesn't have to. You do not have to buy like professional lighting for that. Let's see. If you're moving around, map out your walk, right? So before you do it, say, okay, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go here, I want to go in a circle, I want to do this, whatever. Then you're not running into things when you're not paying attention, and you're also making sure that you're highlighting things you want to highlight. Open up your camera when you're doing it, and then walk your route and see if the lighting changes while you're walking. see if you're going to run into something, but mainly you're going to want to test to see that you stay in the frame. Watch out for large windows that can let in too much sun, so your viewers lose track of you, and then conversely, areas that are too dark. So you want to make sure everyone can see you. And then you're going to open up your live app on your phone, of which I have a screenshot of in either the next slide or a couple more. And check your hair and teeth. I mean, it sounds funny, but there's many times where I've looked at it and went, oh my goodness, that's not good. These things to impede our message. So we don't want people only focusing on a stray piece of hair or something weird sticking out of our mouth. But at the same time, keep in mind, live content works best when you're being your authentic self. So don't go get your hair and makeup done every time you want to go live, unless you want to and you're into that thing. Totally fine. If you're talking to people and your brand is style, or you're talking about makeup artistry, you probably should have your hair and makeup done, right? But if you're just if it really doesn't make sense with your brand, it's not necessary. Some of our most successful lives here have been hair and makeup disasters, and they're usually for me. But it's the content that gets the most feedback on. So technically, when you're opening your app, find your business page, then click live. Practice it before you're telling everybody, I'm going to be on at 3 o'clock on Tuesday, and at 2:59 you decide to try to figure out how to go live. Not a great idea. Panic situation. You don't want to be late because people tend to disappear if you're not there when you said they are. Once you click live, you'll be able to set up your shot. So before hitting whatever, so you'll be able to see what you're going to look like. About 10 minutes before, you want to give your clients, any group members, a heads up. Hey, I'm going live. Remember this? You can send out an email in your newsletter, throw it up on your social channels, and people really don't come because they don't want to come. They come because they get busy and they forget. But then again, like I said here, don't stress about the live views. I mean, it's awesome if you could get tons and tons of people in the moment, because that pushes you through the algorithms. But when you first start out, people are just figuring out that you're doing some live content, right? So stay consistent, and your audience will grow with you. Okay, so it's time. If you're ready, hit live and see how you do. When we leave here, I'd love for you to give me some feedback on this, but also go out and create some live content. No more than 5 minutes on your first attempt, or really, I don't like to be any more than 15 minutes unless you're doing a segmented thing, like you're a cooking show and you want to stream it live. Like, that makes sense. But if you haven't prepared well, 5 minutes will feel like an eternity. So get your points down, get your walkthrough done, get all the stuff that we've just talked about. And keep in mind, most drop-offs happen around the 1 minute mark. So front load your material. And what that means is, if you have one or two specific things you need to get across, make sure you throw them in the first minute before people disappear. So this is what it looks like on your phone. On your laptop, just click live video and you're in. Sometimes it says publish. It depends on the version that you're running on, but you should be able to find that little camera wherever you're looking, and that will be your thing. So I do have this checklist here for anybody that wants it. If you shoot us an email, I can send it to you, but it's just kind of a best practices, and we've run through a lot of them. And then kind of at the end, we'll talk about what happens after. So it says, if after posting, edit your post with the description, tag as many local businesses and people as possible. And we're just going to talk about that. But so this page is available as a PDF. If you would like a copy, please let us know. Oh, I guess I didn't have the extra, the other stuff. So I'm going to have to put that slide in for sure. What happens after? Make sure you publish your live if you want it to stick and live on your page, and then edit it. So give it a title, give it some tags. So hashtag, let's say for me, it's usually entrepreneurship, small business, social media, marketing, that kind of stuff. And then I tag any key partners that are in it. I tag where I've been. The more things you tag up and the more people you tag, the broader your reach is. So I'm going to stop screen sharing and I'm going to pop back into the chat box and I'm going to see if anybody's still here. And if you are, hi, I'm back. And so just going to go here. You should still be able to connect. Okay, so Rosie, you can barely hear me. You tried everything to make it louder. Okay, I apologize. My microphone is over here. I'm going to figure out my tech problems that way for next week, and I really appreciate feedback. And I don't know if there's any other feedback. Let's see. Okay, if you guys have questions, please. Okay, so we've had a few people looking for the webinar, so we're going to rectify that. Where did I go? Okay. So if you're still with me and you're still on our website page, and you can still get into the chat box, let me know if you have any A, questions on the content, so Facebook Live, or B, things that happen. So here's what I already know we need to fix. I already know I need to fix the volume. So either I need to talk louder or I need to get closer to the microphone, or I need to switch my mic to this one. I don't want to, but I'm going to try. So if you're wondering what I'm using, I have this thing called the Blue Snowball. That's right here. It's a USB mic, and it fits right into the computer. I also have an HD webcam. So I'm going to take it off. Oh, wait, I can't take it off. You won't be able to see. It's called the Logitech HD 1080p. It's less than $100. I got it off Amazon. The Blue Snowball is less than $100. It's, you know, a really great affordable way to clearly see you know, when we record these things and we get better at recording them and we get better lighting and everything, this HD webcam works better than your like your embedded laptop cam. As soon as I figure out how to work the microphone better, it will also be better. Yeah, Laura, if you want to come in, you can just wave hi. I'm not really sure how it works with Laura coming in, but I can invite a co-presenter. And you may see Laura pop in a second. But while she's trying to figure that out, I'm going to whip into the chat box and see if anybody has any questions. No? Can't figure it out? Oh, you're coming in. Okay. So Laura's just going to try to log in. And again, thanks for your patience. And I think I pretty much know what we need to work on. And I'm going to add the last 2 slides that somehow disappeared. And I'm going to brush my hair on the side. I'm going to either speak louder or try to change my inputs and outputs. I think people can see me when I am on camera and people are logging off. Oh, the other thing I have to change is to love to hear your feedback on the system, the automation system. So there's a bit of a lag in it. So if you signed up last minute, there's usually a 15-minute. I posted the link on our Facebook page to come on in. And I'm going to see, like, Laura, what do you think? Are you thinking you're coming in? This is a great tool. If you're interested in doing webinars in your business, we're using Google Hangouts, which is also called YouTube Live. It's free. It didn't take us too long to figure out. It's pulling our hair out as far as sharing. As far as one individual, it's really quite easy. The only thing I would recommend is having double monitors so that I don't have to keep unsharing, sharing, unsharing, sharing, going back and forth. Yeah, how's it going? Oh, we're back to 5 years. And so we're going to record this. I'm not going to send this one out, but we will have version of it next week sometime. And so far, the sharing of this isn't working. I'm going to go back into the chat box to see if anybody's asked a question. Oh, I just noticed the email in time. Thought I would make it in time, but there's a 15-minute wait. Yes. So if you're interested, there's a lot of different systems that we use. And so the webinar platform is hosted in Squarespace, and it doesn't integrate with the registration process instantly. So what I have to use is a program called Zapier, which is a free program. It's called Making a Zap. And so it links different pieces of information together. Because of the linkage, there's a maximum 15-minute delay in the time you would register and the time you would receive the confirmation email with the link to the webinar. So for last minute registrations, it doesn't work out so well. And like I said, that's so if you're thinking of trying this system out, I'd be happy if you want some lessons on it. I use it frequently. That's the only downfall that I don't love about it. But then I usually post the link on our Facebook page. So you wouldn't get an official registration, which means the pretty thank you page and a few other pieces of information, and then the follow-up. But you would get, if you are on the Facebook page, then you can usually pop right into the link. So I don't know if Laura's going to get in today.
Can't get in.
So Laura, it doesn't look like she's getting in. I'm going to try to invite her one more time.
Yeah.
And
just to see.
Thanks, you guys, for hanging out with us while we do this. If you have any questions about how we are doing this, I'd be happy to answer those. Like what I just told you, we use the blue. Oh, that's loud in my ears. The blue snowball, the Logitech 1080p webcam. I use ConvertKit for our newsletter. Normally, you would see things from Constant Contact. But these are all, oh, no, I don't see you yet. Here she comes.
Hi, everyone.
There.
You're on.
Woo!
Woo! Took a little bit. We are actually in the same room. On different laptops.
So I just turned off my headphones because I almost from the
And I'm getting some feedback. Fast and furious. Laura, you have anything you want to say? About Facebook Lives?
Sure.
I think you just need to do it. Get comfortable with it. Get comfortable with hearing your own voice. It sounds weird, but you don't normally hear yourself, so or see yourself on camera. So just get used to yourself. Maybe tape yourself a few times and how you speak.
Your voice is echoing. So maybe, because I have this, maybe turn it
off.
Off.
Yeah. Can you hear me still?
Okay.
Can you
still hear her?
Q&A.
So you're hearing everything twice because you're both in the same room.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I turned my headphones so I only have the one microphone. I think maybe Laura needs to be. Okay. So
it is still echoing.
I need to tell Laura
to get out of the house.
Okay. The only problem is my laptop.
It's fine. We'll probably close this down. I think we've exhausted our
tech problems now.
And
I want to thank everyone hanging out with us. Oh, wait,
somebody did that.
This is Nathan or
Yeah.
So Nathan, there's a
15-minute
delay, and that's a little more than 15 minutes, but we will Try and sort that out.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, for last minute registrations only. For ahead of schedule registrations, it works perfectly fine, and it's a really great automated system for anybody looking at looking for automation in their lives. It's called ConvertKit. You can independently you can do so much with it. But as far as integrating it with websites, with WordPress or Squarespace or Wix, it doesn't integrate yet, but I heard they will. So by that, I mean, it would be instant. And yes, we're going to use Facebook as a backup for the link. But in advance, we will be better at letting people know we're going to do this. So you'll have more than the 15-minute advance notice that we gave you today. Oh, we're just going to eat Timbits and
can you hear me now?
Figure this out.
I muted myself, but maybe it's just one.
It's not me it's.
So we will get better at doing this, and I will be here for the whole amount of time next time. But yeah, just do Facebook Lives. Like, just get out there and do it. It's the same with Instagram. Your first post is always like, oh, what do I do? And then it just comes naturally. So we have a blast doing our Facebook Lives, Holly. Like, it just, we don't even talk during it. Like, we don't plan what we're going to say.
No, that's not what we do. We plan because I just told them to plan.
Okay, plan. No, we plan what we're going to say about the topics, but we don't plan like actual scripted things because it just comes off scripted. So just like today, we didn't plan on me contradicting what you just said 10 minutes earlier.
Hey Nathan. Thanks.
Hi, Nathan.
Thanks for joining us. And a lot of people sign up as anonymous on the Chatango. So Chatango is another free thing that you can embed in a website. And you can have a really great interactive chat box. It's way better than the one that the Google Hangouts have. So if you sign up for Chatango and you can put your name in, then I can actually say, hey, by your name instead of anonymous 5230. Thank you. But thanks for telling me you're Nathan. So I guess we'll sign off because we're going to go and fix everything. And then look next week, Monday, we will announce, it'll probably be late in the week, what our next webinar looks like. It'll be the very same webinar you saw today. So if you get that notice, you don't need to sign up for it. It will have a few extra slides, but this was just our test for the Facebook Live webinar. If you have a webinar topic you'd like to have us walk through, please let us know. Right now, everyone's looking at you, Laura, just letting you know.
Oh, all eyes on me.
I'll put back to me.
Can you hear me?
No, I can't, but I'm not the same way other people are.
I muted myself, so they probably can hear me.
I think they can.
Okay.
Because this microphone's picking up. Okay, so we're gonna say goodbye before we just sit here and talk to each other with you. But thanks for coming, and we will see you again.
Bye.
Bye.